Hello everybody and welcome back to Minecraft Survival with Fix. We are checking out the Abon Kingdom because I want to work one more episode on this before we go and do something else. The gatehouse is looking pretty good. It's very simple. I have no detail yet, but I like the idea of it. Yeah, it obviously is going to need a lot of help, but okay, so we're at a good spot here. The gradient is working for me. I do want to add a few more patches of moss, but I think for right now, we're at a decent place with the gradient. There's so much I want to talk about this episode. Some of what I really want to talk about is actually the format of these episodes and how it's going to change and how it's going to become a lot more personal and a lot less of the very highly polished, extremely highly edited, fast-paced killer videos that I have been doing because I miss the conversation. I miss talking. I miss sort of being me. One of the things I need to work on right away in this area, though, is getting roads laid out. I actually want to start adding a lot of houses, businesses, stables, restaurants, farms, all that kind of stuff that you're going to need in a real kingdom, but before I can do any of that stuff, I gotta have the roads put in. So this coarse dirt and path block, which is good for like country, it's gotta go because I'm using the mud mixture for within the city limits. Hey, look, it's a zombie. Hey, yeah. Nope, sorry, buddy, no time for you. One of the things, though, I have to decide right away is how to set up sort of cliffs and how the land is going to move around. There's this big mountain just to the side of my palace area or something. I don't know. I think it's got to go. And what that means is if it's got to go, that means I have a lot of tree clearing to do. And tree clearing mangrove trees kind of sucks. Like, I love the trees. They look awesome. The leaves, the textures, all that kind of stuff. But they are really painful to cut down. They take forever. So... oh man, what am I doing? This is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I just cut down a handful of trees and I flew around to look and yeah, there's like no change. There's like no change at all. I am going to use a silk touch hoe so I can collect all the leaves because as I plan this to be a very dense jungle swamp type of biome here, I'm going to need to place manually a ton of leaves and stuff on the ground. And so I want to use a lot of mangrove and probably some jungle leaves as well. I'm not exactly sure what the mangrove leaves are going to look like. What are the biome changes to savanna? Hopefully they still look really green and don't get that washed out brown look. I haven't checked it out yet though. A couple hours of late night grind and I got this many trees taken away and yeah, there's still a lot more and a lot of land to clear. My goodness. Oh, I have maybe a little bit buyer's remorse so far in this project, but I'm committed now. So many leaves, so many leaves. I have probably in the area of like 12 or 13 double chests of leaves. Yeah, I really need to do something about this. It's getting pretty bad. Maybe just to start destroying them? I don't know. While I have to go and clear more land, I want to talk briefly about how this series is going to change. You know, I have been really into sort of the editing process and really trying to put together as tight of a package as I can recently. And I think I mentioned in the intro, but like, it's not working for me quite as well anymore. And I mean working for me as far as mentally. Like, I feel that I'm losing some of the connection that I prize and treasure so much with y'all, my viewers. And it's something I really want to consider and think about and work on. My home life has gotten a little bit more complicated here where I've really decided to refocus completely on family, my kids, my wife, and all that kind of stuff. It was very easy during COVID when I wasn't playing gigs to really go hard on YouTube, but now that I'm back to working full-time as a musician and still trying to do this, I cannot put out videos where there's like 200 hours of content within one video anymore. I just can't. So how's the format going to change? This is going to be the last one where I record this audio in post and can really sort of get multiple takes. They're going to start being a little bit more like the Stone Block series if you've seen that over on the other side. I hope that's your cup of tea because it's kind of what I have to do now. Along with rethinking the series and how I'm going to be recording it and presenting it to y'all, I want to rethink slightly the reason behind Steelport. I had intended on putting all of my farms here, like moss, kelp, food, everything. All my farms, I guess except for animal farms, I guess. But that would mean there's no reason to go to other cities, and I think that's kind of a drag, so I might rethink how I'm doing this. For example, like while I'm harvesting these potatoes, I'm just thinking like, I mean, why would I ever go to the ancient city outside of the storyline with Mr. Grady? I don't know. So maybe I need a farm specifically in the ancient city and a reason to actually go there. Another thing I want to add in the future, now that I'm starting to get kingdoms that are spread out all over the place, is yes, while they're all going to be connected by road, because that's important for immersion, I actually want to have a fast travel system like we did over in the Realm of Vastin. The reason I put this nether portal at 0, yeah, that's coming soon. A lot of audiobook later, and I think I am basically done clearing out these trees. I missed a couple floating tree tops over there, but it's basically done. I gotta tell you about the books I'm reading, though. I'm reading the Bobaverse books. That's the last one in the series now. They're so great. They're sci-fi in the future about a main character who has his brain uploaded into a computer. It's fantastic reading. After just starting the digging process, I realized that I need beacons and probably quite a few of them, so I returned over to Steelport again to grab all the iron I have, and I have a ton of iron here. I probably have at least 3, maybe even 4 beacons worth. I've been playing this game for a very, very long time, and you would think that I would be able to kill a wither without cheesing it under the end portal, but yeah, I can't. Don't judge me too hard anyway, okay? I have a ton of mining to do, and armed with a beacon, I'll just set up over here and get going. Listen, just because I'm changing up the format slightly on this within the sort of gameplay elements doesn't change anything when it comes to the lore segments. In fact, let's do that right now.
Dr. Tepik, how goes the university planning?
It's going slowly. I think we need to very much consider a full castle.
A castle for learners?
Well, the zombie horn threat is on my mind recently. Edwin feels he has found the source of the outbreak.
Hello.
Whoa. I'll admit, I knew you were working on something big, but this is shocking.
Yes, well, I didn't want to overpromise.
Edwin, it's amazing. How did you manage a functional hologram with our current technology?
It is a, well, large combination of the arcane, Tracy's quantum abilities, and something I found deep within the Abon's archives.
This is unsettling. I understand you have future technology, but the people here won't be ready for this. You must keep this ability quiet until we can prepare the common people for it.
Agreed. I don't want a repeat of the Salem witch trials.
The what?
Don't worry about it, but yeah, let's keep this between us.
I'm confused though, Edwin. What did you find in the ancient Abon archives that could have possibly helped with this?
I believe our world here may be much older than we thought.
Well, I mean, planets are billions of years old, so...
No, I'm not being clear. Civilization on this planet may be much older than we thought.
How do you mean?
I believe there was once a great and extremely advanced civilization on this planet. Tracy has been able to create this network of holograms using something she calls nanobots that are in the very air we breathe.
Well, Edwin, this is big news. If there was once some sort of futuristic society here on this planet, well, where do they go?
I'm still combing through the rather unorganized Abon archives, but my initial thoughts are they may still be here.
What do you mean? I had spies and agents for hundreds of miles in every direction with the Fist of the Dragon, and we've never seen any sort of advanced civilization. Well, that is until Dr. Tepik arrived.
I believe the zombie hordes we continually fight are in fact what remains of this ancient people.
That would make them very old.
Very old indeed.
I've been digging and digging, but I found this hole that is actually really cool. I think I'm going to keep it instead of just cover it up. I don't really know how low I'm going right now, but that could be a kind of cool, maybe little secret pond or some sort of magical effect pond or something. It's moving beacon time already. I think I have this part of the hill as low as I'm going to go, and then I'm going to move over to the other one and take this down. I want it to be a nice little gentle hill and not just a giant cliff. After taking it all down that much, I do want to collect all the mud. So even though I have it basically the height I want it to be, I'm still going to take all this mud and then cover it up with grass so I can get that really lush, green, awesome look. And finally, after I have a nice little bit of landscaping done, I think this is going to look really good covered with grass. It's time to get back to the cliff. I do want this entire sort of upper platform to be a steep cliff coming up from the water, and then once it gets up to the top of the cliff, a more gentle hill. So I grabbed a whole bunch of stone and cobblestone, and I'm just going to do a mixture and bring this cliff up to about the level that I want it to. I do really like torching at night. Isn't it great even with this? Is that a new moon? Is that what we call it? A new moon, I think. It's like when you can't see the moon at all. Anyway, yeah. So I got to torch all this area here because I don't want this to be a mob farm down underneath. If I find that when I trigger a raid on purpose that raiders are spawning down here, then I'll have to come back in and like slab it or something so they can't spawn here. I don't really know what the rules are for raiding parties when they spawn, so I'll have to maybe do a little bit of research in between episodes. Despite having what I thought an absolute ton of grass and dirt saved up just from landscaping this down, I'm actually kind of running low. I may need to bring in grass and dirt from another location. Luckily, I have tons saved up throughout the world, but yeah, I can't believe it. I guess most of the stuff that I took off the top of the stone was actually mud and not grass and dirt. I mean, hooray for having more mud. That's good. I finally found a big patch of andesite here too, and I need all of the andesite because one of the gradient, well, the only gradient that I left out of the big palace area so far is actually andesite. I had planned on using andesite in between the cobblestone and the stone as sort of a buffer, or maybe just to mess up the stone look a little bit. I don't know if I'm still going to, but I don't have very much andesite in this world, so I want to save it all just in case. I got all this basically worked out. I have this nice area over here where actually it goes down from the spawning platform, which is kind of nice that it's not all uniform, a big cliff leading up to it. I think that's going to be really cool, though I am going to have to figure out how to feather this down into sort of your basic swamp after that. But at least taking it down to the spawning level should be kind of a nice, different look. I don't know, something that's not exactly the same throughout this entire Abon island, at least. Oh, look at all the smooth grass. Man, it looks so good. The only thing I have left to do in this part of the landscaping is just bring that down. It's a very nice gradual thing. I definitely don't want any raiding parties to get stuck because they go underneath or can't get up. Speaking of underneath, that's going to be a real problem, and that's something I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do. I don't have a really great plan, honestly. I was able to do a very rare live stream for me. Man, I haven't done one in quite a while, and it will probably be quite a while until I do one again, but yeah, we laid out the roads and I think it's pretty good. I think we have a nice shape that's not very straight but goes completely around the spawning platform. But here is the problem. If you drop down, this is obviously a fake landscape. If you go down, there is a huge open area, and I think pillagers could potentially spawn there. And if they do, then I have to leave my little safe cubby hole and I have to come out and I have to search for them. That's kind of a drag. I mean, am I gonna have to slab this, or will they only spawn where there's sun access? I don't know the rules for this. Now, I still have yet to die in this world, even though I converted it from a hardcore world to a survival world, and I would like that not to happen. However, I did fall down this giant hole that I dug because I wanted to move this beacon, and I thought I could make it with Feather Falling 4, but I couldn't, so yeah, I popped a totem. A few episodes ago in the hardcore world, I said like, oh, I died, but I meant I popped a totem. So if you were one of the like dozens of people that called me, I was like, hey, it's hardcore. You said I just meant I popped a totem. I didn't mean I died. I thought that was obvious whenever I said I had to go and get a new totem, but maybe it wasn't. So yeah, I popped a totem. I didn't die. I did a raid, however, during that live stream. I forgot to mention it, actually, and then whenever I came down and checked, I actually forgot to look and see how many totems I got. I think I got quite a few. Let's take a look. This raid farm is not absolutely great. Oh, look at all those totems. Nice. Okay, so I have a bunch of totems on hold. That's great. I just came over here to move my other beacon because I think I'm going to be doing some digging underground, and look at the view in this area. When the sun's going down, this is no shaders. This is just vanilla Minecraft. This kingdom is going to be absolutely gorgeous. You know, I'll be honest, I felt uninspired from this kingdom for a while, maybe even a good while, where it was kind of hard because I couldn't come up with a really good plan in my mind's eye, but recently that has changed. I have a lot of inspiration now. I want to build a lot more ancient Mayan style buildings. This area is coming along so well. I had to go repair my tools up in the airship, and just flying in just gives you a sense. The scale of this is going to be awesome. Not overly huge, but just about the right size. I really like it. I got to lay out the roads and stuff, but first I think we got to head underground and really get to work. I don't know why I'm doing this. Well, I do kind of. I want to get all this mud. I just want to have it. You know, I'm going to be using this for roads in the Abon Kingdom, but also I just want to have a ton of mud so they can build other places. I can foresee using a ton of mud in Steelport. And yeah, I have a mud farm, but it's not exactly like gathering it for free off the ground. You know, it's still very much got to do it and manually sit there or AFK while you're doing something. So it's going to be nice to have a ton of chests of mud for sure. Now I gotta travel a little bit. I thought while I'm doing this, I could tell you a little bit of the lore that we figured out during that live stream. And I think it's the formation of this crater in the Abon Kingdom. It happened when the moon was exploded. If you watch the video 100 Days on the Moon, at the very end of it, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, well, something happens to the moon. Well, some of those moon fragments have rained down and they've created this giant, enormous crater. I think underneath the crater, I might have a giant moon rock or something that the people of the Abon hold in some sort of mystical capacity for them. I think that could be a really cool idea. I spent a very short time over at my Wither Skeleton farm. You know, honestly, it's kind of good. I mean, I was going to slab more of the nether, but it only takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the most to get 3 skulls, so I don't need them that often. This is not too bad. So I got enough for 4 more withers. I'm going to take them out and then have 4 beacons here in the Abon Kingdom so I can do a ton of digging. I'm only going to make 2 beacons right now. I actually forgot that I had 2 beacons there, so that means I can just save 2 nether stars in my ender chest. I feel like the richest person ever. I cannot remember a time in my life where I've ever had nether stars that are just extra. That's super cool. I am making more potatoes. You know, honestly, I kind of wish I had better food here. In my bedrock world, I always ate salmon, and other places I've actually had chicken cooker or whatever, but the potatoes, they don't saturate you much, so you go through a ton of them. But regardless, after an absolute ton of digging, I finally finished this area. Check this out. It's only like 4 blocks deep, maybe 5, and I need to go down a lot more if I'm going to have some sort of ancient legendary moon rock here, but at least it's a start. I do want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. If you celebrate anything during this time of the year, my warmest wishes to you. I cannot express to you how much your friendship online has meant to me. And I know there's this thing where you don't want to have parasocial relations. I'm not insensitive to that, but honestly, my truthful feelings are, during the pandemic, talking to y'all through these videos and the relationships that I formed in the comments and in Discord and things like that, they mean a lot to me. So it's been a tough time, and I cannot express to you how much it has meant to me that y'all have hung in there with me during all this stuff. It's not just putting out a little Minecraft video. It's what has kept me sort of balanced and in a place where I can feel good and progress and try to grow as a person, all those kind of things. So honestly, from my heart, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, love y'all. Before I get into the question of the comment of the day, I did want to do a little bit more work on these gatehouses just to sort of even them up for when I eventually do work on them. And I think I'm going to keep on the same sort of style as I did in the big place, the big temple, because that would make a lot more sense. I think it adds a lot, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Regardless, let's get to the question or comment of the day. Our question or comment of the day comes from Jason Kirby in the last episode of Survival. I reckon it's a great idea to mix medieval into the temple themes, as in the lore they are being helped to rebuild by a man whose main experience in building is medieval style and would bring that across to help them rebuild. The newer stuff, the rebuilt, would likely take a similar form to Steve Tepek's previous experience, as he's teaching them what he does know. Yeah, you know, that was an angle that I did not really see, to be totally honest, but it makes a lot of sense. I think I actually responded, that makes a lot of sense. Because, yeah, that's true. Steve Tepic is the one who's building this stuff, so the fact that I brought in some medieval architecture to the Abon sort of builds, which I had planned to be a Mayan build with a lot less sort of crenulations, all that kind of medieval stuff, I do feel like it makes sense, because we're not recreating actual Earth history, we're recreating a world from a guy who lives basically in modern times, so he would bring stuff that he's seen in movies and films and all that kind of stuff into their culture with him, I think, right? That makes sense. Yeah, great comment. Good idea. But with that, I think that ends our time here in this episode of Survival with Fix, episode 3. Next episode is going to be a little bit of a different tone. Again, I'm going to be recording those live, so I hope you enjoy the format. I know I am going to really like getting back to just sort of talking and being myself. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for tuning in today. See you next episode.